Okay, let's jump into this welcome guide. I'm going to use this for the duration, and then please jump in, Shante, Melanie, even Christine, and share. And if you have questions, it's a small enough group. Go ahead and just ask. You can chat them as well. The chat's open, so if you want to just chat your question, and one of the other members of the team can respond to it there.
Hey boys, let's come on out.
Or they can ask me as well. So if it's a question that they feel would be helpful for the recording or for everybody here, then they'll just stop me and ask it. Okie dokie. You know the history. Many like this is not a group where I'll spend much time on this slide, but we're now in our 55th year. Isn't that amazing? Of learning by study and also by faith. Like that really is at the core of American Heritage School. It's the continuation of that Brigham Young training school, which was a continuation, which evolved from the Brigham Young Academy in 1875, which was closed 92 years later. And then just a year after that, a group got together, a homeschool co-op, in fact, in 1969. Like this is the history that a lot of people don't know. Like the groups that you get together with in your communities, because they wanted to continue that learning by study and also by faith, even though the church had closed the academy. And the following year, they received this building. There's a picture of it right there. They bought this building from the church, this little Pleasant Grove Chapel, and they turned it into American Heritage School. And they were incorporated in 1970, and they've just been growing and doing good in the world ever since. The worldwide program started in it actually started first concepts in 2009, and then I joined the team in 2011, and that's when we launched Family School just a year later, and that's the program that all of you are familiar with. And that Family School has just been evolving over the years. This is the mission statement. You're familiar with the mission statement. I'll just say about the mission that there's two words in that opening sentence that really stand out to me within this worldwide campus, and it is the word worldwide. Like that is our mission. It's not just a nice private school here in Utah, but it has a grander mission. It has a bigger purpose to support families around the world, and not just anyone, but parents specifically. And that's the other word that I love in this mission statement. I love all the things that it does, right? And you do too, and that's why you're here. That's why our families come to family school or American Heritage School. It's for those things. But I love it. I love that from the very beginning, this mission statement identified the parent as the person we're serving. Even when we're supporting a student in a virtual school, we know that it's the parent that we're working with. It's the parent's role, primary role in the home to teach their children. So we assist them. We do not do the job. We are hired to help you with it. And that looks different for everybody. It looks different for homeschoolers, online schoolers, virtual schoolers. And we understand that that is the case in the home. Your role changes from year to year as your children change, as they grow up and maybe need or want more independence, as they begin to read, the ability for them to participate in education at home changes. And so your role changes too. And so our program has now become, I think, very, very comprehensive of all of the roles that a parent and a student would be in home-based education. So wherever you're at in that stage, we can support you. Okay. This is a nice parent checklist. If you're looking for checklists and you like to mark things off, I do. I oftentimes will even make checklists for the items that I've already done just so that I can check them off. That's probably not what this checklist is, but it's a nice start. So as you jump into family school, this new platform that we've developed, here's some first steps that would be helpful. Familiarize yourself with the family school platform, adding students and enrolling courses. We're going to show you how to do these things. Enroll in math and language arts for students. This is not something that parents enroll in anymore. It's something that students enroll in. And I should just mention before I go too much further that that is one of the most significant changes or improvements, and it is significantly an improvement, is that this former Lift Ed and former Family School have come together into one combined platform where everybody can be. together. So one platform, one mission, and everybody's there together accessing the curriculum that pertains to them. So now parents don't access math and language arts directly because those are student led or student or leveled curriculum. Parents can still access them through their students' accounts, especially for like kindergarten, first graders, second graders who aren't reading yet. Parents are going to have to be very involved in that and teaching and guiding. But students you'll enroll your students and then you'll add those courses to your students' accounts. And that's how we do that with math and language arts. And that's why math and language arts is now a part of that student premium account. Okay, create an account on Formative. This is just for virtual school students. So if you have a virtual school student, some of you do, but you also have younger students who you're homeschooling or that are online schooling. We have families that have students in all three schools, in fact. But Formative is a tool that we use for digital math and some language arts assessment for our virtual school students. So you won't need to pay any attention there. There are links, there are schedules, the user guides linked in this PDF. You have you have these, or you have this welcome guide in the chat. You can just open it. We will send it via email with the recording of this webinar as well. So you can look through this guide at your own time and click on those links to walk through those steps. Order print materials. The print store is still very, very similar. We've added some resources. We've changed the layout a little bit. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the changes in our print store, you can click on that user guide, and that will walk you through some things that will be helpful regarding what print materials are available, how to order them, how to print them if you want to print them, download them, print them on your own. You can do that. Foundations lessons have changed this year. I would say they're a little bit more palatable for students. They're not as dense for parents to teach. They're videos that you can watch. Shantae produced them. They're wonderful, really, really well done. And they're for all students, regardless of what school your student's participating in. These are designed to be helpful for students and parents in any of those schools. So that is the Foundations course. And you can access that in the curriculum library. Okay, I've already mentioned that, and you've heard me say homeschool, online school, virtual school. You're going to hear us say that more. It's the way that we identify with each of these phases of learning and each of the roles of the parent. In the homeschool, you have parents who are regularly the teacher, right? So that picture is a good example. Mother, multiple children, various ages, learning together. That is kind of the core of family school, isn't it? That's how it all began, as a one-room schoolhouse type of curriculum for Latter-day Saint families who wanted to integrate principles of the gospel into strong academics for their whole family, regardless of the ages of their children. And that's what we had starting in 2012. And then later on, we started producing some videos and making curriculum that was more on level, that students could consume independent of a parent, in which case, in that school, a parent can be more like the guide. And you kind of see that in that picture. The students are learning independently, the mother's kind of supporting, helping, but not the primary teacher there. And then we have this new virtual school that really began with LiftEd, and many of you are familiar with that, which launched in 2022. And we've gone through three iterations of that now, different age groups, different kind of offering, different tools. And now we've really settled on something that is combined with our homeschool and our online school. And so in that program, you can be, we say, the principal, um, which is which is really what you are always in your home, the principal. You're always the principal of your home when it comes to education. It's just how you participate changes from year to year, doesn't it? Now you can see the offering in context of those three schools. So this is what we offer for homeschool. Like if you're a homeschool parent and you want to teach your children, then there's a very affordable access to all of the what we call character core content, which is all of that history, science, geography, literature, art, music content that we produced from 2012 to 2018. That's $10 a month. It's for K-8, specifically designed for K-8. And then you have online school. And for every family here and those that were here before, you'll see that you have access to the kind of the original 912 content. We don't offer that anymore. And since AHS Online High School began, we stopped offering that to new families. We're not supporting that content either. So that's important to know that as you access that high school level content in family school, if there's a broken link or a resource that's missing, that's not something that we're going to continue to update. We're going to point you to AHS Online High School for the most up-to-date, um, brand aligned, mission aligned content that we trust. We really do not have confidence in all of our high school content, and so we've put that behind just former families' logins. And so you'll have access to that. You're familiar with it, so that's okay. But we really would love to point you to the AHS Online High School if you're looking for an AHS experience that we have full confidence in. Online school. So this is where you see the videos come in that we've produced over the years for these courses, these character core courses. And then we have the new skills core courses. Christine's part of that effort to create courses, hobby skills, career skills, life skills courses to really round out our offering. We have the academic core, which is math and language arts. Character core is the other six that I just mentioned: history, science, geography, literature, art, and music. And then skills core is hobby skills, life skills, and um, career skills. Okay, so anything that's leveled, anything that's student-led or student-centered, like videos, that's available in the online school. And you would sign up your student. Each student would have their own login, their own access. You would enroll each student in the courses that you together choose they'll be studying that year, and they can create their own calendar. They can have their own dashboard. They can see their own progress. Eventually, they'll be able to submit their own assignments. You could grade them. You could have someone else grade them. And then we have the virtual school, which includes the the community. It's really the only big difference between the online school and the virtual school is the community. It's the daily class with other students. It's math lab if they've added that on. It's the weekly language arts review class. It's grading. Students can submit assignments. They can receive grade and feedback and some of those more academic services. So that's our offering right there. Any questions before I move on? I just realized, Shante, we should put this slide before. Academic core, character core, skills core. We should have this one before the grid because I was talking about academic core, character core, and skills core, and
Yeah.
you haven't heard of some of those kind of that new categorization of content.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll move it right now while we speak. So
So that's great. Thank you. So I already mentioned this, but this is maybe a little bit nicer page to be able to understand how we're organizing content now. Again, character core, that's what you've had access to for many, many years. Academic core, that's what Melanie's in charge of and what she's going to talk a little bit more about here in a little bit. And then skills core, Christine's working in that effort, and that includes lots of different courses like um, video editing, that's coming, leadership, photography, digital design, French cooking, athletic training, drumming class. There's lots of different kinds of courses. Communication's another one that's been there. We have an entrepreneurship course, not part of our skills offering yet. We need to do some work on it, but that's something that we found to be very helpful and appealing to our upper elementary, middle school, especially middle school group. Okay, assessments. Go ahead, Melanie. You want to talk about this slide? Just what's available and what are assessments and what's available for our families and our students?
Yeah, sure. So if you are, it sounds like most of you might have used our character core courses before, but if you haven't tried our math and language arts or are new to our math and language arts program, this assessment might be helpful to know where to place your child within our program because we align, as Peter said, with the Virginia state standards, which might be different than a program that they came from before. So you just want to make sure that they have the content mastered in that grade level so that they are the most successful in the level that you put them in. So our math assessments are actually in our platform as a course. So you would just enroll in that, choose the level assessment that you would want to take, which would be the last grade level that your child completed. So if they're going into fifth grade, you would have them complete the level 4 math assessment. And if they get 80% or higher, then you can know that with confidence that they'll be successful in that level 5 course. Our courses, like I said, are rigorous. And so if you decide that you do want to place them in a level 5, even if they didn't get that 80%, you would just be aware of the different skills that they need support with to be successful in that level because you know your child the best. Our language arts assessments are actually designed as a readiness guide. So it's more like a checklist of different skills that they need to have mastered to be successful in that level. So if they're going to take the language arts assessment, you would take that grade level. So if they're going into fifth grade, you'll do the level 5 readiness assessment. And it will just go through and make sure that your child has the skills necessary to be successful in that level. There's a big change between our third grade and fourth grade curriculum. So if you have a child between those two levels, I would just make sure you look at those assessments because our fourth graders are reading novels and our third graders are still working on phonics and spelling. So just kind of be aware of that kind of hump in our curriculum. So that's where those are, and the link to the math and language arts I think are embedded right here on the page. Yes, the math levels do align with the grade.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. Any questions? All right. This might not be a bad time to
Just
just
a
go.
quick question.
Okay, yeah.
Again, where do you find those assessments on the website?
Oh, perfect. Let's just go show you. So this is the new curriculum library, and it'll just pull up all the courses. You can filter by age group, like you could before, and then by course. So if you want to access the foundations lesson or foundations course, then you can start it right here, or you can go and you can enroll in them so that they're on your calendar or that your students can see them independent of you. That's how you would enroll your students, by the way, in their courses as well. Let's go to math and just what level? Just I'll drive. You can talk, Melanie.
So the math assessments are the first tile there on the left side. It says math assessments, kind of gray. Go ahead and click preview, Peter. And then you would choose the last grade level that your child completed. So again, this would only be accessible because it's a course. So your student would need to be logged in. And then they click on the grade level that they completed. And then it's just something you'll print and have them do paper pencil. And there's a key included so you can grade that really quickly. One really cool thing when Peter is able to access the course, I
Is
want to
in
show you.
okay, I'll do
Oh,
that.
if you can, yeah, if you can log in as a student. When you log in to each level, it will actually go through each question on the assessment and tell you the skills that that question covers. So click on level, if you can see the assessment. You have to
Oh,
go back to the assessments.
yeah. Oh, I need to add the assessment. I need to enroll in them though, don't I?
I don't think so. You should be able to see it as a preview.
As Laura Ingalls?
Um, if you go to the top there and instead of math level 4, just take out the yeah.
So go where?
If you can go back to the assessments. I
Oh,
usually just do it. I do it in the URL,
I
so
think you
you
have
can
to.
go any way you want.
There's no way to get to it as a student unless I'm enrolled in it.
Um, Let me see if I can.
Because students don't have the curriculum library, Melanie.
Okay, let's see if I can just take a screenshot and show you what I mean.
So I'm trying to enroll in the assessments, but it won't let me enroll it if I've already enrolled in math, it
Yeah,
looks like.
Correct.
that's
So
Yeah.
do I need to unenroll in all the maths? And will that get rid of all my progress if I unenroll just to enroll into this assessment?
it really shouldn't do that. We're going to fix that this week so that you can enroll in both the assessment and a level of math. Um, so that you're not, but I don't know the answer to that question. That's a good question. If you'll lose I don't believe you'll lose anything, but
And if you want to reach out to me, I can email you the file too if there's a specific level you're looking for. I can get
Shante,
that for you.
ask Ben right now. I'd like to get the answer to that question for everybody here
Yeah,
and
I'll
I
for
have it.
recorded.
Oh, and I have it pulled up, Peter, if you want me to just share my screen.
Oh, I can do it now.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. So go to level, what level?
Looks like the other ones are going to be locked, but you should be able to click on level K, right? Or can you click on 4?
Oh,
Go ahead and click on the lesson
oh yeah, no. So,
and then scroll down right there. So see those numbers? Those are actually line up with the assessment. So
oh,
if your child misses question 2, then you know that all you have to do is review the concepts in lesson 6 and lesson 7 in number sense. And so that's really helpful if you feel like they just missed a couple and you want to start them at their grade level. Then you
hmm,
can just make sure you go back and go over those skills and you're filling gaps instead of like moving them an entire grade behind.
that's neat. I didn't know that it worked that way. Hmm, that's great. Good.
So the language arts assessments are not in the platform currently. We're going to be adding them as soon as possible, but our dev team has been very busy building the new platform. So we have actually just linked those in the guide. And if you click on the link in the guide, it should take you right to it.
Okay. Very, very good.
And I will let you know what we find out from our software team about if you will lose your progress on your math.
Yeah, I don't believe you will, but we'll confirm for sure. And then Shante, while you're at it, you might as well just let them know students need to be able to add the assessment course needs to just be open for anyone at any level.
Sure.
Parents on any count, that assessment course should be available.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Next is Foundations course. Like I said earlier, well, I've already mentioned this earlier, so we won't spend any more time here. You can enroll in that Foundations course and complete those, the written version or the videos. The videos were just recently produced, and like I said, I think they're a little bit more palatable for students than some of the dense Foundations lessons that we've had before. They were great, but a little heavy. Pilot courses. Okay, moving on. This year we have 3 new courses that are in development, and there's one in each of these 3 categories. Academic core, we have this new I Master Math, I Love Language third grade pilot, and that's our academic core pilot. And I'll come back to this. In our character core, it's this new Geography Africa. So we already have a Geography Africa course, as you know, as most of you know, but we're producing half of that Geography Africa course newly. So it'll be a new course in the platform. It'll probably be named Geography Africa Pilot Course, something like that, 2025-26 pilot course, so that you can see that, differentiate it between the existing kind of legacy Geography Africa course. It'll only be half of a full year, so 16 lessons instead of 32. And then we have a leadership course that's in development. This is the one that Christine is developing. And there's all kinds of neat, exciting, unique things about this leadership course that we're testing, and it's part of our skills core. So let's jump back to iMaster Math third grade pilot. Melanie, why don't you share a little bit more about that pilot? And then I can share more about the Geography Africa pilot, and then Christine can share a little bit about leadership.
Sure. So this pilot is actually in iMaster Math and I Love Language. It is for third grade. So if you have a third grade student, it will apply to you. This pilot is developed in a new lesson delivery. So it's the same lesson, but we've broken it up even into smaller chunks so that it's a little bit more palatable. And we use kind of a slide deck format so that your student has something to look at while you're teaching. And then embedded within the slides, we have created these new micro learning videos. So the lesson isn't entirely going to be taught by the video, but instead a little concept from the lesson is going to be taught. So if it's a phonics skill or a reading skill or a writing skill, we're going to focus just on that in the video to reinforce that concept. And same with math. It would be a video about decimals or a video about fractions. And so it's going to be really targeted for those academic skills. We're really excited about the pilot. Like I said, they're linked in each lesson. So when you pull up the lesson, there will be an option to present the lesson to your child in the slides or to do it in the platform. Either is fine. Your child can do the slides by themselves. They are very bite-sized and very interactive. We're really excited about the new lesson design. And we also have a survey that's linked in the 5th lesson. So we hope to get your feedback because as we develop, we want to make sure it's usable for your families. So if you have any suggestions or there's something you like, we'd love to hear it.
I think that's the common thread through each of these pilots is that we're using this more interactive, engaging, more visual, multimodal type of um, delivery or lesson design to each of these pilot courses. So that you're going to experience that that's a similar concept that you're going to experience in each of those three pilots. The content will change, of course, but what Melanie explained right now, that actually applies throughout the pilots. Highly visual, bite-sized modules, interactive, engaging, more engaging for students, and especially independent learning, with embedded enrichment videos. Sometimes just one, sometimes multiple videos in a single lesson. It just depends on the lesson, depends on the course. I think in math, it's one video per lesson. I think language arts is the same way. Whereas with the Geography Africa pilot, there will be, in some cases, multiple little bite-sized videos throughout that experience. So it's just changing, lots of change, which is good in the lesson. It keeps the students uh, connected and attentive and not bored, I guess. Not just listening to a video, even though they're engaging, sometimes you can tune out after a couple minutes. And so we feel like this is a really important pilot this year because if this goes as we think, we've actually already piloted it a couple times in different groups and different settings. And so that's why we've developed these three tests that we're going to use all year with all of our families, just to learn a little bit more. But if things go as we hope, and maybe as we've even planned, then we'll start producing all of our content this way. Like every course will have this version included in that course. That's the idea. Like that's the hope that they have kind of this original, scripted long form lesson plan, but then they also have this highly visual, modular, interactive version that students at any level could consume independent of a parent. We know that many parents will do it together with their children still. It'd be a really simple teaching tool as well that they could just flip through one lesson at a time. So we were actually developing it not just for student-led learning, but also teacher parent-led learning. Kristen, anything you want to add about the leadership course?
The leadership course is designed to feel a little different than other courses. It's a 2-unit course this year, and it's focused on leading myself. So this is a foundational unit, and it basically teaches K through 8 to recognize their thought patterns, recognize when they're in a place, a thought mode that's not super helpful, and teaches them how to shift into a more helpful and productive place, and offers them tools that we're calling leadership tools to use once they make that shift. So they make that shift and they have five tools to choose from. And because they learn their names and what they each do, it just makes it more accessible for this age group. So they can actually take action, like intentional action to in a better direction. So it's all kind of skills based and challenge based. So they start the class each day with a mini challenge, and then they're introduced to the tool that would have really helped them in that challenge if they had known about it. And then from there, they get to do some skill drills to really practice with this new tool that they get introduced to. And that's day one. Each lesson takes 2 days to complete. Day two, they get to do a badge challenge where they actually use that tool that they just learned the day before in a real life situation, and that qualifies them to receive a badge for that tool, and they celebrate. So we're hoping that it's a really fun way to learn, a really memorable way to learn. We've limited it to 8 tools and a repetitive use of those tools and this kind of system of noticing what's going on inside me, making this shift, and then choosing a productive tool to go in a new direction. And hoping that we can actually build some muscle memory and help them actually build some new habits and change some behavior possibly. And it's something that, kids and adults all benefit from. So I guess that's kind of it in a nutshell.
That's really helpful. Thanks, Christine and Melanie. So this leadership course, like Christine said, it adds some new elements to a course that we haven't experimented with much, especially on the badges side, like the gamification side of education and learning. That we'd love to find out a little bit more about how that lands with our families and for our students. But the thing I think I'm most excited about is that Christine's actually developing it, not to um, make her like put the limelight on her too much here. She doesn't love that. But she is you, like she is a mother with children at home, homeschooling. She's also a talented instructional designer, and putting those two things together really makes her uniquely qualified to help us in our, not just with this leadership course, but in our overall instructional design in this real critical kind of pivotal year, even I'll say, as we start looking forward to how we're going to support homeschool, online school, virtual school in the future. That is one important point too, that I might just mention here in this setting is that the major upside in this last year to homeschoolers and online schoolers, to this audience right here, is that our focus has turned back to homeschooling, online schooling. It wasn't before. For 2 years, 3 years, in fact, that our focus was really on how do we help families come out of public school to homeschool. It was kind of the public school switcher, we called them. That's still important to us, but it's not our strategy anymore. Our strategy is how do we create the most impact possible and support the most families who are homeschooling. And homeschooling looks like online schooling, and it looks like virtual schooling, and it looks like traditional mom-led homeschooling too. And so that's probably the biggest shift in our strategy. And why it's a pivotal year, because we're now looking at all of our content and saying, okay, we produced a lot of this 10 years ago or more. What do we need to do to make it more effective for students, more simple for parents, and comprehensive of all the tools and that they need to be able to operate that home as efficiently as possible, so that it's not a full-time, even part-time job for mom or dad, but it's mostly mom, right? We all know that. Uh, and so that's I think the real big news in our strategy for this group is that our attention is now coming back to how do we support our homeschool families, which makes it a really important year to have someone like Christine on our team, because she's going to help us to hopefully help us to reposition, redevelop, redesign a lot of things that have worked really well and to make them even better.
Hey, Peter,
Uh-huh.
Mom has asked if the leadership class is only available for virtual school students.
No, it's actually going to be available. All those pilots, in fact, will be available to every family. And because the point is we want to get as much feedback as we can this year in those courses. In a future year, just so you know, like that leadership course will be a part of the skills core, and skills core is part of online school, right? It won't be available in the homeschool category like it will be this year. But it is a skill, right? It's one of our life skills within our skills core category, and that's where it will sit. That's where it'll ultimately land. And so it will only be available to students who are signed up in our online school, and then also our virtual school students as well. It happens to be one of our courses in the virtual school that all virtual school students are taking this year. So that's great because we're going to get, a couple hundred students. We're going to get feedback from those parents and those students at minimum, but we want to see how does this work in a homeschool environment with multiple children of various ages? I know that's what Christine's most passionate about with that leadership course. But how does it work in an online school where you have a student self-guided? And Christine has a daughter who is that student too. So we want to learn as much as we can from as many different users, different user types um, as possible. And so all of those pilots will be available to all families and students this year. It might change next year, of course, but this year, that's the way it is. Good question. I'm glad you asked that. Okay, this is, I'm going to give you a little tour super fast. I've already shown you a little bit of the new family school. We call it Family School 2.0. It's very similar in that it has a place where you could see the courses you've enrolled in. Actually, that's not similar to the old, no, it is. That's actually, Family School had a My Courses widget on the dashboard. So it's similar in that case. You see the on this day in his story lesson plan for the day. Um, this is the anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech, coincidentally. The 20, August 28th. If you have built a calendar, then your events will show up here. I've not built a calendar for Caroline because I can't yet. It's coming soon and it will be available middle of next week. The member map was supposed to be ready today. We were going to show it to you, but there were some testing that needed to happen and we didn't want to push it too fast. We've done that in the past and broken things. So this will be ready tomorrow, in fact, the member map. You remember the member map. It is the place where you can kind of zone in or zoom into your location and see families who live around you. Can't zoom in too closely, and we don't share any personal information that isn't shared by the family in their settings. Um, by default, I think it's the first name and the last initial of their last name. And again, you can't zoom in so closely you can actually see where that person lives. But it also doesn't share personal information. You can click on any family and it'll pull up a little form box. So it'll show you the information that they're sharing. It might share their email or their phone number even. They can enable that if they wanted to. But you have a little box where you can insert, you can type a message and click send, and it'll send it to their email. So if they want to respond and connect with you, that's how they'll be able to do that in the member map. It's kind of a fun way to see who's around you and connect with other families. This is the course library. I've already shown you that, so we're not going to spend any time there. If you ever want to see what courses you're enrolled in, you can see them here too while you're enrolling in courses. That's a big change from last year. Instead of adding courses, you're enrolling in courses. And so when you enroll in a course, then you just have to, then you can select from anyone who you've added to your account. You'll be there, of course, but you may have added your students as well. And if you have, then you could select Mary, and then Mary will have this course in her dashboard, and she can access it and complete the course. Okay, not too much there. Print store, plans and pricing, contact us. It's pretty simple right now. We're going to add a lot more tools to this as we go throughout the year, and especially in preparation for kind of more of like a re-grand opening 2026-27 that we'll be having next year. We're pretty excited about it, but this site will stay very similar to this with this enabled calendar and course library. You will see the enrolled courses will change. You'll see a little arrow, and you can advance to your other students and see how they're doing in their courses. It'll show you a little progress indicator here. You can click on the course and you can see the grades that they've received and any assignments they submitted if they are part of the virtual school. Yeah, okay. I think it just announcements, information that we'll share here occasionally that might be helpful to you. All right, let me go back
Peter,
to this. Yeah,
a parent has asked if you can explain the enroll in one class for free part of the offer.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, there is a free account. It's called a free parent account. So any parent can come in here and they can enroll in any of the character core or skills core or even math and language arts classes, academic core courses. So that's our new plan to help families to really experience family school and to encourage them to go into the course library and just look at all the content that we have. And then as a family, just pick one of the courses any course. If it happens to be a course that's only for students like math or language arts, if you, for example, if you came and you were new to family school and you had set up a free account, which is just as simple as adding your email address and your name, then you have a free account. Then the next thing that you can do is come into the library and pick a course. If you decide, actually, I don't want to do any of the art, music, history, science, literature, geography. I actually want my son to try one of these math courses. You could do that too. So you can add a student as a free student so that you can use your one free course as in that area of math or language arts or skills perhaps, because those aren't available to parents, right? In a normal parent account. Those are only available to students. So if you want to access as your free course, um, anything in the academic core or skills core, then you have to set up a student in order to do that. And then you would enroll that student in the course, and you could access the course through your student's account. You create their username and password, so you can log into their username and password and access that course. You can use it to teach your whole family. Like if you picked a skills course, let's say it's Introduction to Photography, and that's the course you decided you wanted to choose, you would still have to add it to a free student account, and then you would access that course through that student account and use it to teach your children. So that's one scenario, that's a little bit different from our previous free trial that we had many, many years ago. Good question. Any other questions about the platform? All right. Schedules. Now, these schedules are recommended and they're used by our virtual school students, but they could be used and followed by any of our families. We're producing each year a recommended schedule for homeschoolers for online school, namely because we know that content is going to have included all the attention, the resources that we could bring to bear, for content that year. You'll see new courses like leadership in that scope and sequence. But if that's not the history you want to do, you want to do a different history, that's just fine. Just know that if you chose our recommended schedule, it's always going to have a student-led option and a parent-led option. And that is not true for some of our content. Some of our content doesn't have instructional videos that accompany the written lesson plan. But the ones we choose each year, the recommended ones, we either use ones that we've already produced or we produce more. In this case, in history and science, we're using ones that we produced in 2020-21. In geography, that will be new. In leadership, that will be new. Like Melanie said already, the videos that we're producing for the level 3 or grade 3 pilot in I Love Language and I Master Math are new. But we also have screen recorded videos for levels 6 through 8. So we don't have all of the same student supported content in each of the levels. So our recommended schedule will always include courses where we do have student led and where the course could be parent taught or it could be student led. These are this is the academic calendar that we follow for our virtual school students. But if a family likes this schedule and they want to follow it too, this will get them in 32 weeks. It'll get them through that entire scope and sequence right there. A history, science, geography, and that leadership course.
And one thing to note is that some of the courses aren't available in the course library yet, like leadership. So look at this academic calendar to know when those will be released.
Yeah.
They'll be released close to those dates.
Yeah, really good point. Like geography right here, 1st of October. That geography course that we're referring to is not the legacy geography Africa course, it's the new one. Of course, you could take the legacy geography Africa course, and I think what that one does have videos as well. But this leadership course, let's see, this is phase 1. You don't see leadership on this one. Oh, no, you do. Leadership right here. Doesn't start until February, so we're producing that right now. Christine's working on it, but it actually won't release until first of the year. It might be on the platform before that. It probably will be, but it will be there for this date. Like that's the kind of the gotta have it date. Okay. Now this is the phase one calendar. That's our early elementary school students, and then our upper elementary school students and middle school students follow this calendar. This calendar includes the character core and skills core, which is an offering that we start to develop for upper elementary middle school. So you don't see skills at this early elementary level, except for this leadership course. It is being designed for all three levels. But they have on their rotation on their calendar, 4 rotations where the students get to choose from our entire skills core library which one they want to choose. So in the home, you would probably just get together with your children and say, hey, what do you want to do for the next 2 weeks? They might say, we want to do French cooking. Great. Well, let's do French cooking. And the next time that comes around, they could choose a different skills core, like maybe graphic design. Shante actually developed that course and taught that one. They're wonderful courses. They're not designed for younger learners, so just know if you're teaching younger ones, then that doesn't scare you, I know, because they get what they get, and they kind of go along with the older kids in the home. So you'll enjoy those as well. Again, to access the skills core courses, what does a family need? They need to have premium student accounts. Premium student accounts are $39 for the first child, and then $10 for each additional child. So that's the pricing for access to skills, math, language arts, and then all the videos that are in the character core courses. There's a little bit different suggested calendar for math and language arts. Every single level of language arts is 160 lessons. And so in 32 weeks, if you do one lesson a day, every day, then they will finish that level at the end of the school year. Math is a little bit different. The cadence for math is a lesson and a review day. And if they do that approximately 2 lessons a week, they'll finish the level in the year. So Melanie has created some recommended schedules for math and language arts, and you can see those in the resources tab of each math and language arts level. Did I say that right, Melanie?
Yes.
Okay. That's great. So if you any level, if you go to preview the level, go to resources, you can see the supplemental downloads, the suggested calendar. Oh, what's the big news about the additional download that we have, the additional print um, resource we have for math and language arts? I forgot to mention this. We forgot to mention this. Melanie, you can tell them it's actually really big news.
Yes, this is great. And I'm actually noticing as you clicked on that, Peter, that it looks like the assessment is linked already in math in the level. So
Oh,
if you are not enrolled in the math assessment and you're already in level 3, go ahead and click on supplemental course downloads, Peter,
oh,
right there
nice.
at the top.
Oh,
So
oh,
I
that's
was forward
great.
thinking last year. I didn't realize that's
Oh, you did
already
this
there.
last year.
Yeah, I did all that last year.
Oh, that's great.
So that's
You
good
don't
news.
have
Hopefully they
to.
didn't
So
drop off
basically,
the
don't
call.
enroll in this. I wonder if we should even just remove it. Well, we can talk about that offline, but
We can.
I'd probably recommend that we remove it and just start pointing families to where those assessments are. And that's the perfect place for them is in the resource center. They have the supplemental course downloads and the assessment is one of them. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
We should do that with
So
language
yes,
arts
the
too.
lesson books. I'm super excited about the lesson books. This has been a little labor of love in a response to moms saying to us that they really wanted their kids to maybe have a little bit less screen time. So if they are watching those videos for Character Core and you want them off the screens for a little bit, you can purchase or ask us for the file. Correct, Peter? That
Yeah.
we're refining it and trying to make
Here.
it really nice for you. So for this year, you can get a copy of that file. You can order it in our print shop. It's the same lessons that you get online, just in print form. You can order it right now in black and white, but we're adding a color version into the print shop. It's a little expensive for the color, so just a heads up. But all of the levels of math and language arts are there for you offline. We're really excited about that.
Yeah, so in summary, math and language arts is now offline or online. You get to choose. And all the practice sets, same thing. Okay, very good. Thank you, Melanie. You might even just pull one up while I'm moving on. Maybe we come back to it and just show it really quick so they can see an example of a lesson book. Um, okay. All right, back to the suggested calendars. Back to school devotional. Yes. Paula Winatana. He is a good friend of mine. He is a coach at American Heritage School. He's an amazing man. Really neat guy. Inspirational. Um, Such a strong mentor for youth. Anyway, he is our back to school keynote, and we're excited to have him. You can learn a little bit more about Coach Winatana. There's a video that you can play from the welcome guide. I won't play it here, but he's played basketball professionally, and he was part
Yeah,
of that I'm a Mormon campaign back in the
that
day.
I think that's the way to get your kids to come. You just tell them he was a professional basketball player. He
Yeah,
played in the Olympics.
yeah, that's right.
He played against LeBron James. And
Uh-huh.
and so I think that students will really love meeting him. So that if you want your kids to come, just tell them that. Especially your boys. Hopefully that will help them
Such a
come.
good man, such a good person. I mean, just oh, so good, such a good soul. Member map, we've already talked about that. You can kind of see a picture of a design for that. Parent volunteers, we'd love for you to volunteer. Volunteers make it or break it with some of our events that we do, and the experience. It's actually a really important part of our school culture too. If you're part of our AHS American Fork or Salt Lake campus, it's actually a requirement. So it's not really technically parent volunteering, is it? You can choose what you do, but you have to give 30 hours per student to the school, and there's dozens and dozens of ways to do that. But that kind of culture of service and spirit of service is very deeply a part of the history and heritage and culture of American Heritage School. And then, of course, our youth retreat, that's another community item annually. Our middle schoolers are invited and high schoolers are invited to join us for the most amazing week. And it is the most amazing week for them ever. Like every year, it is the same result. They love it more than FSY. Is that what they call it now? FSY? Not that FSY isn't great, it is, but there's something very unique and special about the AHS Youth Retreat that combines um, not just the spiritual and the fun element of getting away and doing a retreat with other youth, but also a very unique group of students coming together who, in many cases, have been working together online all year, and now they're coming together for the first time. We always invite our homeschool and online school students who are the same age. So you'll look for that invitation in the next couple months. We like to at least do a save the date email and by the end of October so you know when it is. It'll be end of May, middle of June, most likely this coming year. Okay. There's some FAQ in the guide that you can look at, some other resources linked there. The school is fully accredited through Cognia. And then if you need support, we've already mentioned that Shante is here to help you. And you've got her information there in the welcome guide as well. And we're not going to cover anything after that. Everything remaining in the welcome guide. If you want to learn more about how the virtual school works, who are the coaches, they are amazing. These guys and girls are just the sweetest souls and great mentors to youth. We handpick them, of course, and they are through and through American Heritage School mission and are great role models and ambassadors for it as well. STAR assessment, formative digital math, and an FAQ there, and we've gone through it.